4 minutes past 12, you are listening to the Mid Morning Talk on Salam Media, and it's time for our segment with Islamic Care Line. Today, we are talking about the importance of support groups and the impact that they have on those that need them with the Islamic Care Line's counsellor, Shuhaida Adam. It seems like there are support groups for just about everything or any topic, any while some groups may have professionals as leaders, many will be led by peers who are individuals also in a recovery. Certain groups are designed to offer support and guidance for the friends and families of persons with mental health concerns. And we're going to be finding out why support groups are important and what is the impact that they have. Joining me on the other side is Shuhaida Adam, a counselor from Islamic Care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shuhaida, shukran for joining me.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, Sister Maryam. It's a pleasure to be on your show, and it's just wonderful to engage with Salam Media.
Alhamdulillah, it's always a pleasure to have you join us. All right, so why are support groups important?
Okay, so let's understand a little bit what is a support group, because like you see, there seems to be support groups for anything and everything, especially in recent times with the whole COVID pandemic, and people have been reaching out to people, especially via online forums. People are reaching out looking for a shared experience. And that's one of the core components of what a support group is. A shared experience, people coming together with some form of a similarity. The experience is something that they're struggling with. They're either living with it right now or they've been through it before. There's a similarity there, and people want to connect with other people through this shared experience or similarity or the difficulty, whatever it is that they're struggling to cope with, or if it's something that they would like to heal from and put it to rest and reach a point of acceptance about the situation. It can be very current, so it can, like you mentioned earlier, it can be family members who are experiencing a difficulty relating to somebody else's experience. For example, if we have a family member who's got a substance abuse problem, and those of us who are supporting this person, we are looking for some form of connection with other people who are going through the similar situation. So we ourselves don't have the substance problem. It's just a family member, but we're struggling through it, and we want to know what it's like from other people and how can they help us, those of us who are on the sidelines. Even things like relating to people's physical health. So for example, if somebody is maybe diagnosed with a terminal illness, in our family, a loved one is diagnosed with a terminal illness, and us on the sidelines, us as the family, us as the support, we are also struggling to cope with the daily demands or struggling to cope with the shift in what this illness now requires from us. So we can reach out to people who are going through the similar experience. So it doesn't have to be our main struggle. We can also be on the sidelines. People find that with support groups, they get a lot of encouragement, and that's what it's designed to do. Helping people overcome, helping people move forward, helping people share with each other, motivate each other, empower each other. So with support groups, you'll find that the members make the group. Those who join the group, they make the group. There are also something called therapeutic groups that are out there, right? And therapeutic groups are a lot more structured, a lot more focused on therapeutic intervention. So there's a lot more in-depth activities, but the facilitator of the therapeutic group plays a greater role in the development of the group and has greater input into the content of what's going to be discussed for the day and the planning, the activities around that. For your support groups, you'll find that it's structured. It is structured to a point. Our members then have a bit of a greater say. So if the members want to discuss a certain topic relating to the purpose of the group, so for example, if we have divorce support, then if they want to discuss a topic relating to the content, it can't really be off topic. It can't be something totally unrelated to the theme and the purpose of the group. So that is, if that happens and the group members want to discuss that, that is where your facilitator would then come in and step in a bit and then guide the group back to keeping to the themes and the objectives of the group. So people have found it to be greatly beneficial in terms of coping with the current situations that they are in, and also getting that shared help, just that shared connectedness also. It's amazing what people can gain out of listening to somebody else going through a similar experience. Oftentimes when we are struggling with something, we feel that we are the only person who's going through this, or it's a very unique experience, and we feel very alone in it. So there is something very comforting in knowing that it's a shared experience and there's somebody out there who can possibly help me, and people who are going through it with me, a similar situation, they can maybe give me some guidelines and practical tips of actually practically coping with whatever it is that the group is meeting for.
All right. So, and what are the benefits of support groups?
Okay, so like I said, there's that shared connectedness with members. Support groups they have to have objectives. So there needs to be a purpose, there needs to be a reason why people are meeting, and what are they going to get out of it. So specific objectives, what change are people going to see? It can be a behavior change, it can be a shift in their mindset, there can be a paradigm shift amongst the members. So that can be some of the benefits that people see. There can also be very practical day-to-day coping mechanisms that people can gain from others. So for example, things like if we have, for example, single mothers in a certain support group, so things like how can they access maybe practical childcare support, how can they rearrange their day, things like stress management, they can get that from other members also. So there's definitely some practical benefits to it as well. We aim to have empowerment. Our group members, we hope that they will be empowered at the end of these groups, empowered to cope with the situation, empowered to perhaps, even if they are looking to grow in some way, looking to go and achieve something, our group members can then walk out of that group when it reaches at the end of let's say its lifespan. When it reaches the end of its lifespan, then group members can move forward and hopefully they can go and achieve what it is that they've decided they would like to achieve. So bringing about behavior change, looking at achievements, bringing about some form of comfort, ease, some form of mental wellness also. We're looking at in terms of growth and development. So people will be able to possibly raise their self-esteem, some form of self-development. We're looking for growth and change, acceptance, and some form of comfort and shared experience with coming from this groups. I can just go a little bit into a bit of structure relating to the groups also. So when we talk about structure, we want people also to know what they can expect. So it's not always when you come for this group, then anything goes and you'll be called any moment to come and join. So before people join the group, we then share with them what can they expect. We'll tell them it will be for a certain period of time. It may be an hour, it may be an hour and a half to about 2 hours. So we'll contract with people also for a time period. We'll contract with them for the amount of sessions that they need to avail themselves. It's usually, most support groups are usually once a week. So support groups can run from between 6 to even about 15 sessions. So specific support groups will run for a specific period of time. So members who join the group, we prepare them beforehand already knowing what they're going to experience. We'll even talk to them a little bit about how it will work. Maybe we'll talk to them about possibly in the beginning they may need to introduce themselves, or in the beginning there may be a go around, in the beginning there may be a certain activity, then we'll have a discussion, or we'll have whatever it is that's planned. We share beforehand so that people are also quite prepared. People take a lot of comfort in the familiar, in knowing what they're going to be, what they're going to experience. Also, the idea of a support group can be a little bit daunting, joining a group of strangers that you don't know and then sharing with them some really personal and confidential struggles. So we contract the confidentiality also. We emphasize throughout the group that we expect our members to respect confidentiality and to support each other and to be extremely respectful of what the other member is going to be sharing. So we prepare people also beforehand so that they can already be comfortable enough when they know what to expect.
All right, so Shuhaida, we are going to take a quick break, but do stay with us. So when we come back, I'd like to talk about the different types of support groups that are available. So please stay with us. We will continue thereafter, inshallah.
Every day of the year. We have a full house clinic that operates from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., which is run by a qualified sister. The clinic offers immunization, vaccination, wellness, general consultation, and more. Call Doozy Med Medicine Depot on 033 3421200. Doozy Med Medicine Depot, your pharmacy of choice.
The following political party advertisement has been paid for by the party concerned.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings be upon all. My name is Imran Musa from the Al Jamaa Party. I am currently a councillor for Ward 9 in Lenasia. Vote Al Jamaa in the coming local elections for us to continue to serve you to the best of our ability. You must have seen the huge impact and felt the difference we are already making in the community. As your beloved councillor Imran Musa of Lenasia, you're most welcome to contact me on 082-805-1368 for any service delivery queries. #I love Lenasia.
Every 60 seconds, a silent pandemic claims the life of a child. Unsafe water is having a devastating global impact on health and livelihoods. Islamic Relief is at the forefront, providing clean and safe water to vulnerable communities around the world. Our tailored approach to sustainable water solutions enable families not just to survive, but to thrive, ensuring they stay healthy and safe. Give water, give life with Islamic Relief.
These days, I'm more health conscious than ever. So tonight, it's stir fry for dinner, cooked in healthy Helios pure sunflower cooking oil. Helios is pure sunflower goodness, packed with omega-6. That's good for your heart, and is approved as part of the Heart and Stroke Foundation eating plan.
Dinner's ready!
Helios, pure sunflower cooking oil. A healthy family is a happy one.
For a long time, we've lived in a centralized world, where institutions held the all-important data and confirmed all transactions. Those times are over. Welcome to Libertas, a blockchain developing company boasting an ecosystem that continually redefines the way we do business. Our blockchain is decentralized, making it immune to hacking or alteration, putting the power back in your hands with no middleman, so you can focus on the growth of your business. Libertas, the simplest investment choice you'll make.
Reliable access to clean water could save thousands of lives each day. With proper sanitation and easy access to fresh, clean water, communities can flourish. Our Thirst Relief Appeal provides clean water to communities in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East by building deep wells and providing sustainable water and hygiene solutions. A monthly donation of as little as 700 Rand could build a well for a community in need. That's only 23 Rand a day. Donate today. www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 11 00 573. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
Salam Media, a global voice for humanity.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Mid-Morning Talk on Salam Media with me, Maryam Mkwanda. And today on our segment with Islamic Care, we are talking about the importance of support groups and the impact they have on the people that are in them. With the Islamic Care Line's counsellor Shuhaida Adam. Assalamu alaikum, Shuhaida. Shukran for staying with us. All right. If anyone has any comments or questions for Shuhaida, please leave them in the comments section below. And before the break, I asked about the types of support groups that are available, especially with the Islamic Care Line. What can people expect?
Okay, so Islamic Care has got some interesting support groups coming up. Some of them had already been in existence and they had reached the end with the previous members. So we are looking now to recruit new members to start up a new run of the support groups. So one of the ones we are doing is a divorce support group, and that's something that there's always a demand for that. People are always looking to share about their experience. It's each one goes through it uniquely, but there's some commonality, and people, they find some form of comfort and some form of contentment when they are able to share it with people who have gone through a similar situation. This will look at people who, it's not just for people who are recently divorced, also people who have been through a divorce in the past, and they may have implemented certain coping mechanisms that they would like to share with others, or that they would like a little bit of feedback on. So the divorce support group is something that we want to start with, inshallah. It's for women only at this point, because most of our requests for support groups comes from women. Actually, all the groups I'm going to tell you about at the moment, it's for women at this point. So if there are men who would like us to start up a support group for them, we are very happy to do so. Also, if there's something a group of people would like us to do and it's not something I'm going to mention now, then you're welcome to contact us and we can make an arrangement around that. The next group that we're also looking to start up with is for mothers of young children. So mothers of young children up to about the age of 4 years old, preferably younger. So becoming a parent, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a first-time parent. It's just anyone who's got a young child and most likely a newborn, adapting again to having a newborn in the home, or being a parent for the first time. It can be quite challenging, and a lot of mothers are struggling. Especially in the past year and a half since the COVID pandemic started, we don't necessarily have the same traditional means of coping with change in our lives. We don't necessarily have the same methods of interacting with other people to get that same form of support. We don't necessarily have that same extended family support that usually would accompany our families when a newborn comes into the family. So young mums are struggling on their own, and they're very uncertain about whether they're doing this right, whether the child is okay, whether they're parenting okay, and how are they going to cope going forward. So we want to bring them together and just have them together, have some form of support for them, and also just mainly as a reassurance that they are doing quite well. And if there's any specific challenges, then we want to come together to share and help the parent cope with this. The next one that we're also doing is we're calling it an extended marriage support group. So with the prevalence of polygamy and polygamous marriages in the Muslim community, we recognize that there's a lot of dynamics associated with it. So previously we've done one where it was just the first wives. So women whose husbands had either already taken another spouse, or they were in the process of doing it, they've spoken about it, and these women would like now to come together and they would like some form of support around that. So we've done one with the first wives. However, we had gotten quite a bit of feedback from the community that people who are second wives, third wives, I'm not sure if there are fourth wives out there, but people who are the subsequent wives, they would also like some form of support because they also go through their own set of challenges in an extended marriage. So we would like, we're starting up a support group for them, and hopefully, inshallah, we'll be able to start that also early next year. We're just recruiting members at the moment, and people are welcome to contact us, and then we will also if this will suit your individual needs. In the past, we've had a request from men who are in polygamous marriages for some form of support. So if we do get a request for that also, then men are welcome to contact us and we're going to make an arrangement around that one. The other one we want to do is, of course, a widow's wellness support group. So women who have lost their spouse through whatever means, it doesn't necessarily have to be recent also. It can occur and the person may be a widow for quite a few years now. Just anything associated with the loss of a spouse, adapting to life with without your loved one and coping through that process. We want to put women together and have a shared experience around that. And the next one that we want to do is a COVID support group. So people who have experienced some form of difficulty, loss, trauma relating to the COVID-19 pandemic. The unique thing with COVID is that everyone's experience of COVID is quite different. So some people have gone through the virus themselves and they haven't had a very difficult experience, they've had mild symptoms, and they haven't experienced much of a change in their lives, personal change or personal loss. And then there are people who have experienced a great amount of change. It can be relating to their physical health, it can be related to their family structure, the financial support, even the employment, whether they've had to leave, whether they've lost community. There's been some people have experienced great change, and because the pandemic is still with us, they're possibly still going to experience further change. So they would like some form of assistance, some form of coping skills to go through that right now. So we're offering that support group, and people are again welcome to contact us if they are interested in that one. So those are our current support groups at the moment that we are going to be starting up sometime early next year. But like I said earlier, if there are other topics that a group of people would like us to assist them with, then they are welcome to contact us and we can make arrangements and put a group together. And just some of the requirements around our group. So at this point, the groups are going to be online, just to suit everybody, because not everybody is still comfortable coming out into socializing into a group. So we're going to put it online. There's going to be the convenience of the online group, so you don't necessarily have to travel to the venue. There doesn't have to be that requirements around that. So for now, we're going to keep it online. It will be on the Zoom platform. Being online, it does have a certain set of challenges, but our facilitators will help the group members overcome that. We're hoping that it will make it a lot more accessible to people who may not have been able to travel to a venue. So we're really hoping that it will be broad enough. With an online group, though, we're going to be keeping it a bit small. We're going to restrict the amount of members. It's not going to be very large groups. It will be maximum, some of them will be maximum 15 people, some of them will be maximum only 10 members. Because we want to keep it as interactive as possible and, to create that group where people can connect with each other. So the larger the group, the less connected people tend to be. So we're keeping it a bit small. Also, there is going to be a screening process in place. Before we even start the group, we need to meet with prospective members and interview them just to get to know what would they like from the group and where are they right now, what are some of their expectations and what are some of their needs relating to a support group. So if we find perhaps that the support group is not going to really suit your current needs at this point, we may possibly refer you for individual counseling, or we'll refer you to further services where we think it's going to be a lot more appropriate. So it's a requirement that before we start the group, everybody goes through a screening process before they become members of the group.
All right, inshallah. Seems like Islamic Care is going to be very busy next year, inshallah. So we are looking forward to the information from the support groups. Now, what impact does support groups have on those who need the support groups? I mean, from your knowledge and experience, what impact has the support groups had on people?
Okay, so from my experience, I wasn't personally involved with the First Wives support group, but I've heard feedback from the facilitators there is how the women who were part of that group, they were able to reach a point of acceptance. They were also able to reach a point where they were able to make decisions relating to their future. A lot of the fears, a lot of the distress surrounding the nature of the problem, it was lifted. So people were confident enough to continue with their lives and make choices relating to wherever they felt they wanted to see their life go. A lot of the women who had joined the previous widow support group, they were able to also reach a point of acceptance. A lot of the grief that they had carried, they felt that the nature and the pain surrounding the grief and the loss, it had lessened somewhat. They had reached a point where they felt that they could adapt now to life without their partner. Some of the group members, after the group had ended, they remained friends with each other, and they were able to continue with that shared support, but out of the group environment. So there were some benefits that they had seen in terms of their daily life and in terms of their own, just their personal well-being, in terms of their mental health. For a lot of people, the anxieties, the fears, the mild depressive moments that they had experienced, that had lessened considerably. People had felt connected to the world around them. People reported feeling more to their family members around them, coping with the changes that had come with the shared topics. People have seen that they are now able to reconnect with perhaps parts of their lives that they had lost. They were able to reconnect with that. They were able to tap the personal potential that they had lost connection with. So people had a lot of strong capabilities previously. They had then gone through this difficulty, so they had lost a lot of faith in themselves. Their self-confidence had been impacted. So through the support group, people had found a growth in their self-confidence. They were able to then go forward and reconnect with who they are. And even if they felt that during the time in the support group they were not able to do that, they were then ready to do it once the support group had ended. So there was quite a considerable great benefits in terms of self-development, the professional development, the personal relationships, the motivation to move forward, people's motivation levels after each group session. People had found a great amount of change in coping with the daily that helped even alleviate the daily anxieties that they experience, even the daily dread down facing the world today.
All right, so that's all the time
that it's necessary.
today. Right, so sorry about that. I think the connection kind of delayed us over there, but that's all the time that we have for today. Shukran so much for your time, Shuhaida, and for joining me once again, and to look forward to feedback from the support groups.
Yeah, Afwan, it's always a pleasure to connect with the listeners of Salam Media, the viewers of Salam Media, and hopefully, inshallah, we will also hear from some people if they are keen to continue with this. They're welcome to contact us on 011-373-8080.
All right, shukran, Shuhaida, and have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum.
Likewise, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Shuhaida Adam, counsellor at Islamic Care Line, taking us through the importance of support groups and the impact that they have had on those that need them. And you can contact Islamic Care Line for more information. And if you would like to be part of one of the few support groups that she has made a mention of, and this video will be available on our Facebook page in case you missed out on some information earlier. So make sure that you save it and watch it later. It is at 12:32. We will be right back after the break.